All right, everyone. Now we've got South Africa news. Ramaphosa coming out in the wake of his embarrassing meeting with Trump. We'll get into that because, recapping that, it's quite funny. Ramaphosa being called on by Trump to fire a government official who actually was leading the Kill the White Farmer chant. And I love how the legacy media says, no, 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 it's just kill the farmer. That's what it means. No, no, no. It does not mean kill the farmer. It means specifically kill the white farmer. It's the whole point. It's a racial anthem. It's arguably an unofficial sub-national anthem within South Africa. That is the literal definition of what it is. That's the literal translation. They ignore this. It's a lie by omission in many of these news reports. Kill the Boer. Okay, who are the Boers? Answer that question and you'll answer, the query very accurately. Means kill the white farmer. The whole point is that South Africa was originally under apartheid, okay? Um, and so there was effectively considerable segregation within the country. Did it need to end? Absolutely. Did it need to end with one group that oppressed the other, in turn being oppressed, now being discriminated against explicitly? I mean, some white dude living out in the hinterlands isn't bothering any black person. And with communism, because that's what you got. And now they're in BRICS. There's a reason for that. South Africa is a communist nation at this point that discriminates against the white minority heavily, despite the fact that in some of those areas, white people were the first ones to actually habitually live there. There were no settlements. There was nothing. Nobody tilled the fields. Nobody did jack shit. People wandered across these areas and otherwise they never settled anything. There were no settlement, then no village, no town, no city. They did not exist. Technically speaking, they were entering fallow land. But now they get oppressed, and somehow Westerners completely ignore this fact. Most people know relatively little about Africa. Ask the average NIMBYist liberal what they know about Africa. Oh, black people live there. Oh, that's where the pyramids are. And maybe they know about the jungles in the Congo or something like that. They know that there's a jungle there, that black people generally inhabit most of the continent, and that there are pyramids. That's literally all they know. Ask them about the Treaty of Friendship with Morocco. Ask them about the overthrow of Libya. Ask them about, how many people live in Nigeria. They're not going to be able to tell you jack shit. And so Westerners don't really get involved. Trump appears to be one of the only people that actually is interested in doing so by taking in refugees from South Africa. Now, most of the people in South Africa that would be capable of gaining that status probably won't take it in the first place because, generally people stay in the nation of their birth. They prefer to do so when possible because they're just more familiar with it. And not every farmer gets butchered. But if you look at the crime statistics in South Africa with regards to murder, there is about a 4 times higher rate of white farmers in rural areas getting killed than any other group within the country. They're even more likely to get killed than the police are. And South Africa has quite a high urban crime rate, so that's quite something. Ramaphosa is a racist. He does not like white people. He does not want them in his country. If he had it his way, then the technically invading groups that generally run South Africa would be in charge of the whole thing. Again, let me remind you, most people know nothing about history within Africa. The Zulu groups that entered what is now South Africa were the invaders. They were the colonialists. The white people simply went out to a Badlands area that nobody thought inhabitable and only wandered across briefly and began farming. They were the ones that settled it initially. Other groups, certain tribal groups local to South Africa, were equally oppressed by the incoming Zulus. Now you've got a weird situation where the Zulu king himself, not many years ago, came out and supported the protests that were going on against the government. It's a very strange situation. Most of 99% of Americans could never even comprehend it. They think, well, if you're black, you're black. Well, I mean, there are different ethnicities within Africa. Believe it or not, it's sort of like if you call an Irishman an Italian, they're probably not going to react very well to that. But a lot of these NIMBYs, they just fucking don't understand it. Ramaphosa says it's okay to chant "kill the white farmer," and then when white farmers get killed, you act, oblivious to it. Can you imagine if Donald Trump came out with a chant that said like kill the black dude or something like that and, was doing that at a rally? Do you really think that the same people that have no problem with this wouldn't have a problem with that? I have a feeling that they would. Some of them wouldn't have a problem with it, but they would pretend because they would be sweating fucking bullets and they'd be very, very nervous. Oh shit, Trump's gone off the deep end. Holy fuck. Yeah, but the thing is that Ramaphosa, he doesn't have that problem now, does he? White NIMBYist liberals in the West aren't going to criticize him for calling for the literal killing of white farmers. They don't care. They don't want them to be refugees either. They don't want them in the United States. All of a sudden, you finally found an immigrant group, a group of asylum seekers that the left doesn't like. It all it took was their skin color. That's the only thing that mattered. That's about all. Peace out.